I said I would do bread, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do bread. But I'm going to do two. So I'm going to do just a straight white loaf. It's 500 grams of flour, a pinch of salt. Now you can put sugar in, but sugar gives you a thicker crust. So if you like really crusty bread, put sugar in. If you don't like that, leave the sugar out, because it's the sugar that gives you that crust on the outside. That's 300 mils of water and 1 packet of yeast. That's it. And all you're doing is you're letting the yeast, there it is working away now. That's the yeast foaming up. So it's half warm, half cold. If it's too hot, the yeast will die. If it's too cold, it just takes too long. Salt in there, mix it around, and that's it. Put that into that. Now you may have to add more water or flour. It depends on the flour you use. Each flour is different. We'll just mix this around and give it a minute. Wait until all of the water is gone. You may have to add a small bit more, or you may just have to add a little bit of flour if you got it too wet. The thing about bread is you can do either. It's not going to affect the bread. You can add more water or add more flour. It won't affect the bread and the outcome of it. So, and you just keep kind of folding it back on each other. You get it starting to come together. So that's starting to get there. Put it back in and just keep on folding it back on itself. This is great for the kids to do as well. Get their hands in there. So now it's all come together into one ball, so we'll take it out of our way, and then we just give it a bit of a knead. Okay, and that's kneading, that's it. Just keep folding it back and pushing it out on itself, and it will form a lovely little elastic ball as we go. So it's just about getting the gluten working in it to give you a nice fluffy bread on the inside. So, and it should end up, just keep folding it back in on top of each other. Everybody has their own method for doing it. Whatever one works for you, none of them are right or wrong. They all do the same thing. So once you have that all formed up, get your bread tin, oil, and then in it goes, and just push it into shape. Now we're just going to let that rise. Now, depending on the temperature of your kitchen, hour to 2 hours. You can also go this far, put that in the fridge overnight, and it will rise really slowly. When you pop it out in the morning or when you come home from work, let it get to room temperature and it'll be ready to go. So put that there and throw a cloth over it. Now we put a clean damp cloth over it, and what that does, it stops the top forming a crust while it's rising. Now this one, so 500 grams of flour, pinch of salt, water, honey and yeast. So I'm going to do a honey bread. If you're going to make a honey bread, you need a natural honey. You can't have one of the cut honeys, it has to be a natural honey. And other than that, we're going to follow the exact same principle. So it's 500 grams of flour, pinch of salt in there. And now I'm going to pour in this. Again, you may have to adjust it, we'll see. So, because with the honey here, that's technically a little bit more liquid, you may need a tiny bit of flour to add to this one, but we'll see in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some sunflower seeds to this as well. So it'll be a honey and sunflower bread, very, very simple. A little bit on the sticky side, and add a bit more. Keep on folding it in on itself again until we get to the same point of it all, everything in the bowl having come into one ball. You can also do this in the mixer, by the way. You can put the whole lot in the mixer and just have it mix. I just like the idea of getting good therapy. It should just clean up your bowl practically. And then again, we're just going to knead this out. Now it's still a little bit on the wet side. You don't have to worry about that. Get the old bare hands, and we get a small bit more flour into this. I'm just using plain flour, literally plain flour. can use strong flour, so whatever you want. So now I'm going to add some seeds to this one while I'm kneading it. It'll get it right through the bread. Now if you like a nice shiny crust on your bread, brush it with egg yolk. You want a darker crust, brush it with milk. And if you like a very thin crust, when it's baking, sprinkle it with water. Each one will act. Or another thing to do is to have like a little oven-proof dish, put water in it in with your bread, and that will, so play with your crusts. But as I said right from the start, if you add sugar, you end up with a thicker crust. So now this, because not everybody's going to have bread tins at home, so we're going to do one with, one without. So we're going to do this one without. So this is my honey one. I'm going to put that there. And again, I'm going to get my cloth. Now, and we're just going to put dry damp cloth over the top, and this is just going to help it rise. Just stops a crust forming on the bread from the air and allows it to rise. It'll push the cloth, no problems. They'll both go in the oven in about an hour.